plants. Human waste has E. coli bacteria, which are found in the intestine, and are considered as water pollutants. The merchant ships can have any one of the three options to fulfill above requirements, as per the MARPOL Annex 4 regulations: retention tank, comminuting and disinfecting equipment, along with a small retention tank, a sewage treatment plant, STP. Retention tank. Depending on the length of voyage and the number of persons working on board the ship, the contents of the retention tank shall not be discharged instantaneously, but at a moderate rate into open sea, at least 12 nautical miles from the nearest land, when the ship is en route and moving at the speed not less than 4 knots. Comminuting and disinfecting equipment, along with a small retention tank. Depending on the number of persons on board and the possible duration of port stay, the contents of the small retention tank could be discharged into sea, not less than 3 nautical miles from the nearest land, when the ship is en route and moving at the speed not less than 4 knots. A sewage treatment plant, STP, of the type approved by the administration. Effluent water from this equipment could be discharged in port and at sea, except in the US and NDZs, no discharge zones, Ukrainian ports, Turkish ports, the Bohai Sea and other ports areas specified by local authorities, subjected to the conditions that it should not contain any visible solids. Excess chlorine should not be used for disinfections and cause discoloration of water. The sewage treatment plant used on ships is mainly biological or aerobic type sewage treatment plant. The whole plant is divided into 3 compartments, namely: aeration compartment, settling compartment and chlorine treatment compartment. Sewage enters the sewage treatment plant first through the aeration compartment. Aerobic bacteria digests the sewage waste and reduce it to small particles. A continuous supply of atmospheric oxygen is provided to multiply bacteria and increase the rate of digestion process. The disintegrated solid waste is then transferred to the settling compartment, where the solid constituents settle down under the effect of gravity. The liquid at the top is then passed to the chlorine treatment compartment. In this compartment, the liquid water is treated with chlorine and other chemicals to kill any surviving bacteria. Maker's manual instructions must always be referred for operating procedure of a sewage treatment plant. pH test of sample effluents. This should be within the range specified by the equipment maker or in the instruction manual of the test kit. Residual chlorine. Residual chlorine content, at weekly intervals, should be as low as possible, and less than 0.5 mg per liter ppm. And clarity test. If cross-marked on a clean white paper is seen clear, if the sample bottle is kept over it, then it is considered to be in good condition. Other tests, like BOD and coliform count, are generally carried out ashore. Aerobic bacteria use oxygen in the process of breaking down the sewage. At the end of the process, the action of the bacteria reduces, and so does the oxygen demand. The effectiveness of a sewage treatment plant may be gauged by taking a 1-liter sample and incubating it for 5 days at 20 degrees centigrade. The amount of oxygen consumed in milligrams per liter, or ppm, is termed as BOD. The BOD of raw sewage is 300 to 600 milligrams per liter. IMO recommends 50 milligrams per liter after treatment. It is possible that the effluent contain bacteria and viruses hazardous to health if it has not been properly treated at the final stage. An indication of this is a count of the coliform bacteria, which are found in the human intestine, and their presence in sewage is an indicator of the level of pollution. A 100 milliliters sample is incubated for 48 hours at 35 degrees centigrade for a coliform count. Each person contributes 125 to 400 billion bacteria per day. IMO recommends a count of 250 per 100 milliliters of treated sewage. Choking of strainer, baffle plates. Choking of activated sludge return line. Choking of bubbling tube. Only approved cleaning agents to be used in the toilets, as strong chemicals, such as bleach, can kill the bacteria necessary for breakdown of the sludge. Daily check the chlorine tablets. Visual check BOD and record pressure gauge reading. Update daily sewage log, EMS02. Check and clean, if required, the air lifters. Check ventilation pipes. Alarms and trips. Test the chlorine content in the STP effluent. Change over the running compressor, and keep other one standby. Check aeration compartment for sludging. Backflush if required. Filter cartridges for air compressors to be replaced, as per manual. Check the functioning of the non-return valves. Repeat 6 monthly routine. Clean and inspect all the compartments. Inspect the pumps. Inspect the air compressors for wear down. Ensure safety precautions for lethal gas formation inside before opening the plant for any checks or maintenance. The sewage treatment plant should always be in operation, whether the vessel is at sea or in port. It must not be bypassed or switched off at any time. An office must be immediately informed in case of shutting down the plant. Simple and clear instructions detailing the startup, checks, operation and shutdown of the equipment should be clearly posted at the location. The direct overboard valve must be properly identified, shut and locked, when the plant is being operated. All times and positions of opening and closing of the sewage direct overboard valve shall be recorded in the Chief Engineer's Logbook, B11. All times and positions of starting and stopping of the sewage plant shall be recorded in the Chief Engineer's Logbook, B11. Maintenance of sewage treatment plant should be done and kept up to date, as per sewage treatment plant maintenance plan, specific for each vessel, with all details of the plant, maintenance carried out, and availability and inventory of spare parts. Generation of sanitary water should be kept to minimum, by crew, awareness, and prompt rectification of leaking flushes etc. Whenever sewage is temporarily stored in a compartment other than those listed in ISPP certificate, express class approval must be obtained. Remember, pumping out untreated sewage is violation of MARPOL. It could lead to heavy penalties and detention of the ship. Make sure you are aware of operation and maintenance of your ship's sewage treatment plant.